Welcome to the Garden Gate. This is Scud from SkudPaiSho.com. We're going to take a look at this Vagabond Pai Sho game today. This game starts with a White Lotus Gambit. So over in the Discord, Koran sent a link to this game where he said he had the great privilege of losing to a White Lotus Gambit. Well played. So let's take a look. Let's start by taking a look at the end of this game. Alright, what's it look like? The White Lotus on the host has not moved from where it started in the middle. Okay, so what's the last move here? The opponent's White Lotus is taken by the host's Bison. So the host also has a Badgermole left unplayed, which is pretty interesting. Seems like with the White Lotus Gambit, with the game, seems like you're coming out with the White Lotus and you're going to try and get it set up, protected as much as you can, and get both the Badgermoles on it. So apparently that did not happen. So let's take a look and see how this goes. White Lotus comes out. The guest gets a Bison. The host blocks Bison number 2. And okay, so the guest comes out with some Bison. The host will block one of them, and then also in return play a Bison. And then so the guest comes in and moves in. It's going to try and get some action in the middle of the board, trying to set it up, get some threat going. So we'll see. So the host comes out, moves the Bison forward, probably as far as it can, with the guest's zone from its Bison here. So alright, we've got a Badgermole played by the guest next to the host's White Lotus, which is interesting. I mean, it's obviously not protecting any of the guest's flower tiles, as there are none, but probably trying to set up to bring out the dragon, especially with the Bison here, getting the Bison within the dragon zone, protect it from Chrysanthemum. The dragon could come in and free the Bison, and get some threat on this White Lotus, and also crowding out the White Lotus, covering up these points where the host can protect it with Badgermoles. Okay, so the host is going to try and threaten the Badgermole and set that up for later. Okay, so the guest is definitely trying to crowd this out here, opening up some more spaces for to play their own White Lotus, Fire Lily, to develop that whole area soon. So the host is going to come in with the Badgermole, protect that White Lotus. So I noticed, okay, let's move back. I noticed the wheel here is probably why the guest did not play the Badgermole right there, which would allow it to have a piece here covered by both its Badgermoles, which could be pretty powerful. But with the wheel here, they're going to try and come in and take one of them and be set up to take the other one right away. That's the downside to that. So having them right here is best. They're not going to be susceptible to getting just taken back to back from a wheel. So that is the next move. The host is going to come in here and block this space, or the guest, sorry. So the Chrysanthemum here played here instead of being able to block this Bison, which they're trying to block out the White Lotus. So later it will help if it will block a Bison that's trying to move into this area. If in the case that this Bison is captured or frozen by a Chrysanthemum and loses its zoning power. So it can definitely do some good. And then the host comes out with the Fire Lily, coming back to build its own some territory, which it can reach the Bison over here, the dragon could. So they're going to have some good offense going on in there as well. And so then the guest does come up and block this bison with the chrysanthemum. All right, so the host is going to play a wheel. Notice their wheels are not on the same set of diagonals, lined up with this chrysanthemum. And remember, the White Lotus is out. This chrysanthemum is ready to be taken, and the host will be able to take that. Okay, but it's also lined up with the bison down here, just in case. So we'll see what their plan is for that. Well, the guest comes out with the fire lily here. The wheel can't take that. It's protected by the badger mole. And the guest is going to get their dragon out soon and get some good firepower in this area. So will the host take the chrysanthemum? They do. So their bison is free, and the guest is down a chrysanthemum. Okay, so we'll back up and okay, so a wheel is coming out here, trying to get at this badger mole, and we'll see what their plan is. So it's a wheel. Didn't get the dragon out yet. The host dragon comes out first, and then the guest dragon. Okay. All right. So now what? Okay, we've got a bison coming out. So that would be, would be putting some threat on this dragon. Currently, it's going to be zoned out by this bison that also started there at the beginning of the game. So. But with the chrysanthemum could come in here, and then the dragon could be attacked. So the dragon gets moved up by the guest. So a little bit of a lost move, placing it there and then having it move away. So a good move on the host's part to do that. Okay, and then this bison does get blocked with the chrysanthemum, but there's the dragon that's going to be ready to come in there and free it up if needed. The dragon is ready to take this badger mole, but the host dragon is going to pose a threat there too. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, so it's the guest's turn, and they come out with the White Lotus. So both players have a badger mole protecting their White Lotus. All the action is getting bundled right here in the center of the board. So we'll see who's going to, what the first move is going to be after that. So let's take a look. The host will get to start the fall half of the game, where we pull the pin. Both White Lotuses are out, and things start to unravel, and we're going to capture some things and see what happens. Okay, and they're coming in with this wheel, getting this badger mole out of the way. So not moving a dragon. They're probably liking that the dragon is outside of the range of the guest's dragon. And so yeah, that's the choice right there. So it could probably bring the bison in to this area, with this one being blocked, but they went with the wheel here. Okay, so then in response, the badger mole, the host is taken, so which means the White Lotus is exposed and the dragon is ready to pounce. So here, so that leaves both wheels lined up, but they're gonna have to take out the fire lily or the dragon to protect the White Lotus in there. That's all surrounded. Can't use this badger mole. So these wheels are staring each other down, and nothing can be done about that yet. And the wheel comes in from the up here by bison to take out the fire lily, so the dragon won't be able to move. And we'll see what the guest does here. So now, you know, if they take the wheel, they're going to be taken by the dragon. And okay, so what they do is put pressure on that White Lotus. Can't be hurt if they need to protect the White Lotus. So so what will happen here is to protect it, the bison moves in, shielding that line of the wheel. So the guest will now move the wheel over. So they know they need this wheel, because this wheel will not be able to capture the White Lotus unless it moves. And this wheel is on the right lines. And if the wheel came in here to attack the bison, it's gone from the dragon. So this is kind of the only hope they have. So, I mean, the pieces that they have, the bison down here, which is frozen. The guest also has the bison there, which is frozen. And we're going to see what they can do. The bison could be freed up with this wheel here. It's on the right lines for freeing that up. Freeing up this bison down here would be a lot of work. It would be moving this wheel away. So definitely losing ground, needing to preserve these pieces to have that hope. Okay, so that lets the host have a turn to take something out, and they use the dragon to take out the bison. So we got a nice packed grid, and okay, so the host's dragon down there, guest's wheel comes in to take out the fire lily, and it's staring down the White Lotus. And the dragon is out. So what happens here is the bison that is still free can come take it out. So now the only piece that the guest has to capture that White Lotus is the bison. So let's see what happens. So the guest flies up with the wheel to try and free that. So which lets the host have another capture, which is just moving the wheel down here, looking like it's in position to take out the badger mole, protecting the White Lotus. So could have been seems like it could have been the bison here to capture the badger mole straight away. But let's see. So now the bison is free. Alright, the badger mole's gone. And this is looking like this is the end of the game. Yeah, the wheel comes down. It's going to threaten this wheel. And the White Lotus is gone. And that is game. That is the White Lotus Gambit for the win in a game of Vagabond. So it gave us an exciting game with all the action in the middle of the board. A lot of fun to watch a game like that. A lot of action. A good fall, a good pulling of the pin to see the game unravel. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. Sometimes you never know where it's going to end up, and it's always a ride. So play Vagabond Pai Sho. Check it out. Head to SkudPaiSho.com. If you're confused and still watch this whole video, the rules for Vagabond Pai Sho are linked to in the side, and after this quick overview of the game, read through the rules, hover over the tiles to read more about them, and just try it out. Click around. You can't make a wrong move on the website, so give it a shot and join us. We'll see you at the Garden Gate. Head to SkudPaiSho.com. Enjoy your day.